I think I'm going to finish Pantoja, third round.
Fighting out of Perth, Western Australia, Steve Astro Boy Erstag.
I was always a fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock mostly.
Yeah.
As being Australian, like the whole drinking the beers thing, like it appealed to me. And yeah, when Brock Lesnar moved over, I was like, oh, he's so big, he's got to win all these fights. And I didn't really watch the UFC at the time. I had watched a couple episodes of The Ultimate Fighter, so I sort of knew what it was.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, when I watched that fight and, yeah, seeing Brock Lesnar get beat, I was like, oh, man, I don't know what this is, but I have to do it. So talked to Dad, and he took me to a gym the next week, and that's, yeah, went from there.
Now, for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and where your family's from.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Perth, Western Australia. Dad's side of the family is Croatian, Mum's side of the family is Italian, and I wanted to be an AFL footballer when I was young. I had like a big inspiration in Ben Cousins. Like, he was my favourite athlete, still is my favourite athlete of all time. And then, yeah, as I sort of got older, I realised I wasn't quite good enough to do that, and then moved my sights onto UFC glory.
You ever met Cousin?
I did. I got to
Yeah?
I got to meet him recently. My coaches teed it up, and yeah, he came to the gym, watched me train, and yeah, it was really cool for me. It was a great experience.
Oh, that's mad. Were you like giddy? Were you like a...
I was trying to be as cool as possible. Yeah. Oh no, I don't even care that he's here, but no, it was awesome. He's in good shape too at the moment. Like, yeah, he looks like he's looking after himself.
Yeah, cool. Does he follow the sport a lot?
I don't know. I know he watches some fights. He said that he's going to be at UFC Perth. That's his intention. But yeah, I don't know if he's like a huge fan or not. But it was cool to have him come watch my training. And obviously, I've been watching him for so many years. My favourite memory is 2006. So my dad actually put quite a large bet on the prelim final or the semi-final, whatever it was. And if we won, we got to go to the grand final. If he lost, we don't get to go. And I didn't know at the time. So Eagles had won the game. Hanston had the ball in the 50, marked the ball, the siren went, and he goes to give it back to the umpire. I'm like, we won, I'm so excited. And Dad going, give the ball back to him, what are you doing? I'm like, what is happening over here? And then, yeah, he gets it, kicks a goal, and Dad starts celebrating. I'm like, we've already won. He goes, no, we're going to the grand final. So I got to go to the 2006 grand final and watch a 1-point game, and that's the highlight of my football spectating career.
Tell us about that grand final and your experience there then.
Oh, it was amazing. The Eagles got up like 20 or 30 points up early, and so I was pretty confident we were going to win the game. And then, yeah, Sydney starts climbing back, and I'm starting to freak out. And I remember when the siren went, I get up on the thing, and I'm like yelling, and Dad distinctly remembers me like spit coming out of my mouth. I must have been like 10 years old or something. So yeah, that was really cool. My favourite fighter, probably GSP when he was doing his thing.
Why?
He was just so well-rounded, and I like the way he carried himself too. He seemed like a genuine human as well, and like humble, that sort of stuff, as well as being able to destroy people in the cage.
So I see the same sort of thing in you. I mean, you're really down to earth as well. You know.
You only see that on the outside. When I get home, my ego's out of control.
I'm the greatest person.
That's it.
Is that something that you're conscious of though? Like, I mean, is that something that you want to kind of maintain? Is that because, you know, you kind of see people get a bit of success and then they can kind of change a little bit. Is that something you're aware of?
Yeah, 100%. Like, when I first started, I would watch, not Connor, but those types of people, and, oh, I got to be like a showboat type thing. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to finish him in 30 seconds, blah, blah. And my dad just comes in, you sound like an idiot. Just stop talking, please. I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe I shouldn't act like this. I'll just act like me and like a normal person. And then I beat Shannon Ross on Eternal, and I started swearing at the mic, and I got real excited. Then not only did I get it from Dad, my grandparents called me to tell me stop swearing on the mic, and I got told by everybody that I should probably calm down. I think family and people close to me have kept me nice and grounded, and I do want to be a good role model for people. I don't want to be, I don't want to have kids going, oh, I got to go and talk trash to my kids at school, other kids at school and stuff. I want them to be good people, and yeah. The thing that made Connor so good at it is that it was genuinely him, and I think a lot of people will try to do things that aren't genuinely them, and people can see that, and it's, people don't like fake, disingenuous people. So I'm not naturally outspoken and all that sort of stuff, so I don't think I should act like that.
Shannon Ross will disagree.
Look, I feel like I have a good relationship with him. I talked to him after the fight and stuff. I did cuss everybody out in the crowd.
Shut the f up.
But to him, I was plenty respectful.
Well, you've been catapulted, I think is a good word, into a title shot
Yeah.
here at UFC 301 in Rio de Janeiro. After 3 fights, it's these days sort of, it's almost unheard of unless you're sort of like, an Alex Pereira and you've got, a vendetta against the champion. What was your reaction when you got that call, and are you still sort of pinching yourself about that now? Because it's quite remarkable. We don't see it that often.
Yeah, I definitely am pinching myself a little bit. It sometimes doesn't feel real. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's right place, right time. I wouldn't have got this opportunity if Pantoja, the champion, hadn't beaten 4 or 5 of the top 10 guys already, and the others are injured and that sort of thing. So it was really only 2 genuine people that could fight for the title, and I was just lucky enough that they called me.
Is it a dream come true for you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I want to be the baddest man on the planet, and at the moment, I'm just going to be the baddest man in the flyweight division, but I'll work my way up.
We are overlooking Perth right now. How much does this city mean to you, and how much do these people motivate you, Steve?
Yeah, the people here motivate me plenty. It just, I was born and raised here, and I have a great pride in being from Perth. I think people from not just Perth, but Australia in general are pretty laid back, and they're tough as nails. You always see them rise to the challenge, and I want to be a testament to that if I can.
You mentioned Pantoja in your last answer. What are your thoughts on him as a champion, and how do you think you match up against him?
I think he's a great champion. I was talking about being a role model, and I think he's
Seems
one
like
of
a
those
good
people.
dude, huh?
Yeah, he seems like a great dude. He really embodies determination, that sort of thing. He's walking forward. Doesn't matter how tight he gets, he's going to keep pushing. But I do think technically he's lacking in some areas, and I'm going to exploit those areas to the best of my ability and come away as the new champion.
Have you heard his story?
Definitely heard some of his story.
It's quite inspiring.
Yeah, no, for sure is. I definitely come from an easier background than he does, and I look at not just his story, but other people that have come from hard backgrounds and stuff. It's like, how am I going to compete against those guys? And I just think my competitiveness and natural toughness, whether it's from the Ursig Italian Lions or my family, I don't know what it is, but there's something in there, and I know I can compete with that.
On Sunday, May 5th, right here on Main Event, how are you going to get it done? You think you get a finish over your opponent?
I can't say for sure. He's a very tough guy. He's been cracked a lot. Obviously, I'm looking for the finish, but if need be, I'll be going out there for 5 rounds. And as my coach says, death by 1,000 cuts. I'm going to hit him as often as possible, just tip, tap, 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 until he goes down. And if he doesn't, I'll win by points.
The 3 fights that you've had, what was the mentality sort of while you were in there? Because you looked super confident. You looked comfortable as ever, as if you'd been there for 10 years. Did it not overawe you at all, the situation?
No, at the end of the day, fighting's fighting, right?
Yeah.
And it might be a little bit different when you're walking in. You get to see Joe Rogan or Bruce Buffer and all that sort of stuff. But once the fight starts, you're fighting some dude and the crowd fades away and it's just you and him. And I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so your body just takes over and you start looking for the holes, and whatever happens, happens.
I think out of your 8 finishes, 6 of them are submissions. Is it fair to say that your jiu-jitsu is your strongest suit?
I would say so. Definitely technically, it's the best. But a lot of those submissions did come because I hurt them on the feet. They shot out of desperation, and then I finished them on the ground. So even though it is my best attribute, striking's probably second.
Well, with that said, how pleased were you to get that massive knockout over Matt Schnell? I think it had been a while since your last big knockout.
Yeah, I was very excited. Not just the fact that it was a big knockout, which is awesome, but the fact that I got my first finish in the UFC. Yeah, I felt like I needed some time to get used to the level. I had to do that against highly ranked people, and yeah, to get my first one, yeah, it was awesome.
What'd you do wrong against Alessandro Costa?
I got a little bit eager after the first. I knocked him down in the first round, and then going back to the corner, I came out and was like, I just have to touch him one more time and it's over. And then I started doing things that, being overly aggressive, not thinking defensively first with him because he is so explosive. And then I started getting caught a little bit and regrouped after that round, go back to the corner and go, okay, I just need to make sure I can win positional battles and go back to being calm. And that's what I did.
What sort of champion does Steve Ursig want to be?
I want to be active. I want to be known for taking on all the challenges and just, known for my hard work, I guess.
And hopefully you'll be back, God willing, injury-free, with the belt and backing up a UFC Perth right here, UFC 305.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to fight, especially with the belt, give Perth another big main event, another title defense, and anything I can do to pay back all my supporters and all my training partners, that sort of thing, I'd love to back it up in Perth.
It's crazy because, like, I remember a year ago for UFC 284, before the big Volk Islam fight, I think you fought on Eternal or something like
Yes.
the night before or whatever, and everyone was talking about this Astro Boy kid. They're
Yeah.
saying, you got to get him in the UFC, you got him in the UFC. So you actually got a lot of buzz around the city that time, and you weren't even in the UFC yet. It's crazy to think that only a year later, you are here in the UFC and you're fighting for a title. It's just been so quick.
Yeah, I mean, even like to that, the fact that it came to Perth and I fought the night before, that's how I got signed. They came to the event, and then I got a nice quick win. They took me backstage and said, "You're in the UFC." I mean,
Oh, that's
so
crazy.
yeah, it was a great moment. Obviously, like stuff that dreams are made of, and yeah, the fact I've gone from a year, from Eternal, and then yeah, to potentially being the main event, or at least fighting on UFC Perth in the main card. That's unbelievable.
All right, give us a final prediction. Sunday, May 5th, right here on Main Event. How are you going to get it done over Alexandre Pantoja?
I think I'm going to finish Pantoja, third round.
Third round, there it is. Steve Erceg, thanks so much for your time. It's great to meet you. Great to catch up with the beautiful skyline of Perth in the background, and we wish you all the best on Sunday.
Thank you very much.